Hey everybody, welcome back to American History. Today we are looking at the 1920s, also known as the Roaring Twenties, meaning that it gets kind of crazy in the 20s. Things in a good way, in the way of, listen, World War One is over. The economy starts to turn around. We looked at that last class where the economy had been down. We had the Red Scare in the late teens, early 20s, and really that will kind of continue with communism and the fear of it. But the 1920s is a time period, like I said, following war, things start to go pretty good. The economy starts to rebound. The stock market starts to go up. People have money. People have jobs and now have some free time. It's a little bit better off than the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, where they were just getting worked to death over work. Now there's some free time and some new things happening. So today we're going to take a look at some of those things in the 1920s. One of those things is going to be, you could consider this part of the 1920s, was the Jazz Age. Jazz is a type of music. This is music, new music, and really it comes out of a combination of a lot of things, like big band music with horns and drums and craziness. You had a lot of migration in the African American community from the South to the North into different cities, which is going to bring this new sound of jazz music out there. And jazz music is pretty lively, is what you would call it. And so this new music, what you would see is a lot of dancing. You can dance to it. A lot of music before this, if you really think about music, I mean, you can go back to classical music on the piano, people playing banjos and having folk songs and things like that. Jazz music is going to have, as I said, a lot of horns, drums, loud music, high up-tempo beat, and it's going to have a new feel to it, and people will go out to, clubs at this point. And listen to jazz music and dance and mingle. Another thing, mingling wise, is this new identity that females are going to have. During this time period, women get the right to vote. Women have worked in factories and jobs. It was a change from the way women had always existed, which was, I'm at home, I'm taking care of the house. I'm not out there doing stuff, I'm taking care of the home. And now what you're going to see is almost a newfound sense of freedom for females. One of the terms, flappers up here, is going to be the term used for females who would be, out and about. You would go to jazz clubs and you would see females there. Females and males mingling together, talking and dancing. This was, and it sounds funny because you're like, well, yeah, guys and girls getting together, going to a party, going to do this, going to do whatever. But it didn't happen before. Before this time period, if I wanted to date a female, I would have to court her. I would have to talk to her parents. I might be able to go on a chaperoned walk with her, those types of things where I needed to make my intentions known and, everything's okay and I need to do it through the family, and it couldn't just be, hey, we meet and we're dancing, we're having fun, Now you can. So females who are going out, hanging out with their friends, going to jazz clubs, meeting guys and doing things are going to have this, the term are flappers. So really we'll have the definition be women, let's just make it simple, women who go out. Women who go out. For the people of the time, it would have been crazy to think, oh my goodness, I walk into a club and there's a female wearing a skirt and smoking a cigarette or doing all these, having a drink. Like, it would have been like, oh my goodness, like, this is in public, shame, get out, you can't be here. And now it's acceptable and people are mingling and meeting and doing things like that. So think about the fact, what I'm trying to get across is the culture is changing for the people of the time. If you went back to 1910, it would be different than 1922, where all of this is starting to kind of get on the scene. There's a lot of new products, there's a lot of new inventions, there's a lot of new stuff. The economy's going well, people have money, people are hanging out. It's a pretty good time for these people, if that's what you are into. Babe Ruth is an important person of the time. We start to see sports heroes, or heroes in general. So you had boxing heroes, and you would have people that would do things like someone by the name of Charles Lindbergh, who was a pilot, flew across the Atlantic. Babe Ruth played baseball and was a big sports hero to children and men alike, women too, but people in general. And so if you worked all week and then you had money from your job and you had free time, you might go watch a baseball game. You might go to a jazz club. You might go to see one of these new invention, they're movies, but not really movies. You'd look into like a thing and then you would see silent motion, but to the people of the time would be like mind-blowing. Us, you'd be like, this is a black and white cat. There's no sound. What am I looking at here? But to them, this is crazy. And so again, across the board, society is changing. It's becoming a lot more like it is today, where most people go, they work, they get money. When they're not working, they have free time, they do whatever their interests are. Some people still go to baseball games, some people go to basketball games, some people go to parks, some people go to, different clubs and listen to music, concerts, whatever. This is when that happens. This is the beginning of what we kind of find normal today. We're in a different age today, but I will tell you about that when we get into the future. One of the big things that's going to change how we do a lot of stuff is going to come from someone named Henry Ford. Henry Ford is going to, obviously you know the name Ford, he owns a car company. And this car company is really important. He basically puts the idea of the assembly line out there. So the assembly line is, if you don't know what the assembly line is, let's just do this. You have different stages, 1 stage, 2 stage, 3 stage, 4 stage, you might have like however many stages. The first stage is, in the car building process, you get this. You put together this is the frame of the car, and then that's all you do. And then you ship it to station 2. All you gotta do is put the frame together, then you ship it on out. And it goes to station 2. When it gets to station 2, all they have to do is they have to put wheels on the car. That's it. Put 4 wheels, ship it on to the next station, down the assembly line. We are assembling a car. It gets to station 3. Station 3, as we go along, here's 1 tire, 2 tires, 3 tires, 4 tires. Our frame is right here. They put on the engine block as it goes, and that's all they do. And then it goes on. I know this is a long explanation. Eventually, what happens is you get an automobile, let's just make it a bus, whatever. But the point is, at the end of the assembly line, you have a fully functional made car, and the fact is, one person didn't make the whole thing, which means, in station 2, someone gets fired or someone's not doing their job or they need to find a new worker. What they do is say like, all right, I'll hire this person. Hey, all you have to do is just put this tire on. That's it. Teach you one little part. That's all you gotta do all day. Put this tire on, next car comes, put the tire on, next car comes. That's all you do all day long, is do this assembly line. Now what this means is anyone can do this. Not one person having to put together the entire car. A monkey could do part of this job. So you get very specialized at it and you make things faster. The first day I work, I'm putting tires on this frame. I go, okay, I figured it out. The next day, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Third day, yep, tire. 4th day, doing it again. A year goes by, I'm like, I'm just super fast. All day long, I know what I'm doing. I can do this so well, I'm specialized at this one job. Why is this important? 2 reasons. 1, Henry Ford makes, I'll use the word cheap cars. but not like broken. They're not like cheap, like, hey, that's a cheap car. No, it's affordable. It's affordable cars. I'm just using the term cheap so you can be like, listen, I can now buy a car. I made them cheaper. Go ahead and buy them, people. And so people can now afford these cars. So cars, in general, cars start to pop up. Everyone can afford them now. Everyone can buy them. Model T is the first one. The second thing is this assembly line becomes the norm. He creates a new way of producing. A new way of producing things, meaning making things. Think about this. If you go to McDonald's, I got a bun, I got a patty, I got the cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, whatever, bun, wrap it, done. It's ready-made stuff. The assembly line gets taken for all these different industries. How can we make things faster, cheaper, more efficiently, everything? That is going to be a huge change. So then put these two parts together that we were talking about today. You have this new change of culture, new change of things and what people are doing and how society is working. On top of that, if you went to a city now, what are you going to see? You're going to start to see automobiles. You're going to start to see cars. Everyone has a car now. Not horses and horse-drawn carriages and things like that. Our society that we live in today is starting to come together. In the 1920s, it is beginning to happen. The way that we understand the world, the way that we exist, is starting to happen during this time. Sports heroes, going out to jazz clubs, new music and dancing, guys and girls meeting and hanging out and talking, people having cars, people having jobs, factory work, money. All of that is happening right now. So you've done a few assignments lately. So today I just want you to take these notes down. That's what you'll show me today for the attendance and participation portion. But today, just understand this. The 1920s is a time of change. It's a time of prosperity. People have money. People are living good. World War I is over. The 20s are a golden age. The roaring 20s is why they're called that. But again, turn this into me today for attendance and participation purposes, and I will see you next class.